So, going live now. Good evening and welcome to San Francisco Playhouse. My name is Mary Claire Erdenast. I am the Associate Artistic Director at San Francisco Playhouse. If we've met already, it's good to see you again. And if we haven't, I'm looking forward to getting to know you a little better from inside your own home. I'm so excited to welcome you back to our Zoomlet series. I love the Zoomlets. I think they give us a unique peek into the rehearsal process and the collaboration between directors, playwrights, and actors. We've gotten to know so many new artists because of them. People I am looking forward to hearing a lot more from. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that San Francisco Playhouse stands on the land of the Ohlone people. We want to recognize the history of the land, but also that the Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of the Bay Area communities. We are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and learn on their land. For those of you who are new to Zoomlets, let me tell you a little bit about them. Zoomlets are short, 10 to 15-minute plays, but they are director-driven. So as the Associate Artistic Director, I collaborated with Bill English, our Artistic Director, on picking the Zoomlets and picking the directors. Then it's up to the director to cast the play and work with actors. And then the director talks with the playwright about the play, about the meaning of the play, and what exactly is going on. In a full production of the play, the director would also pick designers, and they would work on putting together an entire production. Tonight's Zoomlet is an example of what a first rehearsal might look like. The director, playwright, and actors all gather around a table and read through a script for the very first time together. Then everyone might talk about what they noticed, hearing for the first time out loud, and having a conversation that will inform the next reading of the play. So tonight's Zoomlet is Homeward by Drew Woodson, directed by Tara Moses. I'm so excited to introduce you to Tara and Drew so they can talk to you a little bit more about the play. Hi, Tara and Drew.
Hello. Thank you, Mado. All right, so y'all, to get this rocking and rolling, we're going to do a round of introductions, all new things. But yes, I'll kick us off. So he's Dongo Teracho Chefkados. So hello, everyone. My name is Tara Moses. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a citizen of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, as well as Muskogee Creek. And I am zooming in from the land of the Narragansett and Wampanoag, colonially known as Johnston, Rhode Island. And I have the wonderful pleasure of directing Drew's play, the second of Drew's play, produce all of Drew's plays. With that, Drew, would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Oh, it's so exciting to be in the same Zoom room with you again. This is just all very, very exciting. I'm very excited to be working with San Francisco Playhouse doing this short play. Hello, my name is Drew Woodson. I am a member of the Western Shoshone tribe from Elko, Nevada. I am currently a playwright and actor based out of, for the first time, in New York City. And so I am very excited to be a part of this. And yeah, that's all about me.
Yeah, and so excited to finally be very close, just a train ride away this time.
Exactly.
Right. Yes, and also we have the wonderful pleasure of working with two of my favorite actors. Don't tell nobody, but you are. Anyway, Kolan and Chingwei. Would you all like to come on and introduce yourself? I'll throw it over to you, Kolan, first, and then to Chingwei.
OCO, that's a tough act to follow. My name is Kolan Studi, and I am an enrolled member of the Cherokee Nation based in Oklahoma. And I am based here in not so sunny Los Angeles, California, and I'm very excited to be doing this reading.
Thank you. And Kolan is playing Thomas. Chingwei, your turn. Also, who are you playing?
Akwai, Chingwei Padrig Natosawis. Hello, my name is Chingwei Padrig. I am a member of the Shinnecock and Montauk Nations of Long Island. I will be playing William. I am also zooming in from the lovely Providence, Rhode Island.
All right, thank you all. Okay, so we're going to pretend, Kalong, Chinwe, Drew, we're going to pretend that the people are not watching us, that they are not here. We're not being zoomed, we're not being watched. That's what we're going to do. All right, so to kick us off, we're just going to start with a very gentle read. And then after that, we're going to chat. Kalong, you've been in many new play processes with me. Drew, we just got through a very intensive one. Chinwe, welcome. Anyway, so we're going to work through as I typically do, and really dive deep into who these characters are, and moreover, like their relationship to one another in the place that they are at Stewart boarding school. But yeah, so that's just like the one thing I'm going to leave you all with is y'all's relationship. Have fun, make choices, be actors. You're great at that. And that's that. Drew, anything you want them to keep in mind?
I would just say to keep in mind that this particular time is very, very stressful and very tense, specifically at the Stewart boarding school. And so because of all of that, I would focus on the love that these two characters have for each other, despite all of the things going against them. And that is all I have.
Beautiful. All right. Any initial questions from either of you? Y'all just ready to go? Perfect. All right, let's dive on in. Drew and I, okay, back to the people at home, and then we're going to ignore you again. Drew and I are going to turn our cameras off. You're going to hear Marie Claire read the stage directions for the first time through, and we're just going to dive in. All right. So Marie Claire, whenever you're ready.
Homeward by Drew Woodson. A young 18-year-old Shoshone boy enters the scene behind one of the buildings in the boarding school late at night. He sits on the ground and picks up a rock buried in the dirt. Underneath the rock is a worn-looking small baggie. He reaches inside and pulls out a small homemade cigarette and lighter. He lights it and takes a long drag of the cigarette. After a moment, another boy enters the scene, William. He is slightly shorter than Thomas, with the same haircut and outfit. William is Shoshone from a reservation further north. William is more hesitant to enter into the scene and does not sit down with Thomas until the end. They are both around the same age. Thomas is a little older than William, but they are wearing the same school uniform consisting of a white button-up, black pants, black tie, and they both have the same short buzz-style haircut. Thomas doesn't say anything at first. William doesn't mind.
If Sister Mary comes, she'll beat us.
I know, Winabi.
Call me William. You don't know who could be listening out here. And if she hears you speaking the language, you know she'll come and beat us too.
I know, William. You don't need to tell me.
William sees the bruise on Thomas's neck and moves to him worried. This is not abnormal, so William is a little less worried than you would think.
Jesus Christ, Thomas, what did you do this time?
Just the usual crap. Sister Martha was getting all preachy, you know how she does. She started going off on a rant about how you Indians are lucky to get to be schooled these days. And when she was a little kid, they used to just beat the sin out of us about how we're getting all soft and we don't know discipline. So I got mad. That's why I could have just... But I didn't do anything. Except I did say something like, yeah, well, that's because those white hands are so weak, y'all realized you couldn't get through our skin. And so she gave me this. Doesn't matter anyway. She's going to beat me tomorrow no matter what I do, so what's the fucking point of being quiet?
When are you going to learn to just keep your mouth shut? You don't always have to say everything that comes into that thick head of yours.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you too.
Yeah, that's not who I am, though. I'm always going to speak my mind. They can cut my hair, they can rip the clothes off my back, they can beat me, they can lock me up. They'll never keep me quiet.
And that's what's going to get you killed one day, you fucking idiot. Why'd you ask me to come out here? It's getting more and more dangerous each time.
I had to see you.
Why?
Just to see you. To know you're here. That's it.
Last time Sister Martha almost caught us. I think they're starting to suspect something. You know they'll find out eventually. Sister Martha will look at me one day and she'll know, and I don't know what'll happen then. I don't want to get beat again, Thomas.
Oh, and you think I like getting beat every day, Wanabe?
William! You know I don't like it when you call me that.
Sorry.
Okay.
Did anyone see you leave the bunkhouse?
No, at least I don't think so.
Okay, good.
But they
Good.
could have. And I don't know what I would have done if they had...
There's a plan. Remember, if anyone asks, you're going to have a smoke. They'll beat you, but it won't be as bad.
I know the plan. That's not what I mean, Thomas. I mean that I don't know if I can keep doing this anymore. It's starting to wear me down.
What do you mean?
A guy, my sister I told you about, she turned 10 yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah. Last night I had a dream about her. She was here, with us. She was walking, holding Sister Martha's hand, only it wasn't Sister Martha. Her face was twisted, flames coming out of her head where her hair should have been, and her eyes were black, empty, and she was smiling at me, taunting me. This will be the last time I come out here, Thomas. I have to start thinking about myself, about my family. A guy is gonna need someone here to look out for her when she gets taken here. I can't put her in danger just because I like coming out here with you.
so I just don't matter anymore then?
Don't, Thomas.
Don't what? I'm asking a question, Will. Is that really all this is to you? Everything that's happened between us?
Don't make this about us. This is about my family. This is my family I'm talking about. That's it.
You know what? I think you're scared.
Of course I'm scared. You should be too.
I mean about us, Will. I think you're scared about how you feel about me.
It isn't like that, and you fucking know it.
Then prove it.
Fuck you.
Thomas raises his eyebrow in a taunting way. William shoots him an annoyed look and then quickly marches to Thomas and firmly kisses him on the lips, only for a moment before quickly letting go.
Not everything's about you. This place is bigger than the both of us and what we want.
And what do you want?
What I want doesn't matter. And neither does what you want. Surviving is the only thing that matters right now.
Yeah, and what's going to be left of us if we do survive this place?
I'm not having this conversation, Thomas. I'm going back to bed now before one of the other boys snitches on me or one of the dogs finds us out here. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm leaving tomorrow, Will.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Home, I guess, but anywhere is better than here.
Will I see you again?
No. Probably not.
So that's the reason you brought me out tonight, then?
I wanted to say goodbye. Wanted to see you one last time.
How long have you been planning this?
For a while now. I've been stashing food for a little under a month. I got a bag under my bunk that I'm going to take with me.
Why didn't you tell me?
I knew you'd try to talk me out of it if I told you too early. You'd find a way to make me stay, and from the second it popped into my head, I knew that the only thing that would be able to stop me from leaving would be you. So I couldn't say anything.
Are you fucking fucking stupid, Thomas? You know that you'll be put in that fucking cinder block if they catch you, right?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Will? Wait for them to eventually kill me in here? How is our regular fucking day any different from prison?
At least in here you have food, you have shelter, you can survive.
Oh, and I should be thanking them for that then. Should I be getting down on all fours and praising their merciful fucking God for them letting us make the fucking dog food we eat?
They will kill you if they catch you. You know that, right?
It's either I die in here or die out there. What's the fucking difference?
God, you are so fucking dramatic sometimes, Thomas.
My name isn't Thomas. My name isn't Thomas, and I'm tired of pretending like it is. My name is Tukumpin. That's the name my mother gave me, and I'm not going to let some fucking priest tell me it isn't anymore. Why do you have to be so fucking difficult, Wanabe?
My name is William, and your name is Thomas. Thinking anything else is just fucking crazy. You are fucking crazy, Thomas.
My name is Tukumpin, and your name is Wanabe. No matter how badly you want to be different, your name will always be Wanabe. William is the fucking brand they put on you when you came to this place. It's a cattle number. All it does is show who you belong to. Do you think that when you die, they will bury you with that name, with the name William written on your tombstone? Or is it just going to be an unmarked grave in the middle of that fucking desert out there, along with every other kid that they murdered?
And how is that any different from how you're gonna die out there?
Because at least I'll know who I am. At least when I die, my ancestors will know what name to call for when they look for me.
You know what? You want to die out there? Go right on ahead. I won't stop you.
I just can't keep living like this. I know I probably won't make it home, but I at least have to try. I need you to understand that I have to try.
No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You have me. We have each other. As long as we have that, we can get through this.
What's the point of surviving if we don't even remember who we are when we get out of here, Will?
The point is to survive, Thomas. Do you really think our ancestors fought and died for you to give up now? We can't just stop fighting now.
And when does that stop? When does the fighting ever stop? Do you really think that 10 or 20 or even 100 years from now, they'll finally accept us for who we are? You're talking about never ending the fight, but that's exactly what you're fucking doing now. If you walk away from me now, if you never speak your language or lose your name, you're giving up just as much as you say I am. I will never stop fighting to be who I am, Wanabe. I will not hide in the shadows pretending to be what they want me to be because I can't. Forgetting who I am would be worse than them putting me in the fucking ground.
I don't know what you want me to say, Thomas.
I want you to... I don't fucking know. Just go.
I can't lose you. You're the only one who looks at me the way you do. You're the only one who treats me like a human being, who loves me in the way only you can. I'm just scared I can't do this without you.
Come with me.
You know I can't.
Why?
I literally just told you. My sister is coming, and No. It's more than that. I think as much as I'm scared of this place, being out there fucking terrifies me. My auntie always told me that if I ever needed to find my way home, all I'd have to do is look for the stars pointing me home. I remember the first night I came here, I looked for those stars and I couldn't find them. It was like we crossed into a different world when we came through these walls, like this desert and this sky had abandoned me. That first night after they had made me strip down and they gave me my uniform and they cut my hair, I had a dream. I dreamed that I escaped and found my way through the desert, and I finally found those fucking stars and I followed it all the way home. But then, when I finally saw my mother again, she didn't recognize who I was. She looked straight through me like I didn't even exist, like I never even existed to begin with. She called me a filthy daibo and she sent me away. And then I wandered around the desert not knowing where to go, and I died out there, stuck between both worlds. And when the spirits of my ancestors looking for my body found me, they didn't see who I really was, and they just left me. They just left my soul to rot out there in the blackness. I can't go with you. Maybe in another life I'd be brave enough to, but I can't. I'm sorry.
I remember when they cut my hair too. I was younger than you when you came in, but my hair was so thick and long, just like yours. Agagu brushed my hair every day and every night, and it always made her smile. She'd say to me, "Tokumpin, cherish your hair. This is your heritage, your name. Shows who you are." The day they cut it, I didn't cry. I didn't let them see my pain when they hurt me. I vowed I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. But when they burned my shirt, the shirt that my Gaku had made for me, I couldn't help it. It's like they killed her too. I cried. And I screamed and they hit me. They made me watch while they burned it. And then they burned my hair too. They didn't need to. It meant nothing to them. They could have just thrown it in the trash, but they just wanted to watch me hurt. It's okay, Will. I don't blame you for being scared. I just can't wait anymore. I have to go back while there's still a chance my mother might still be able to recognize me.
You can call me Wainabi.
Okay. You know the first time I fell in love with you? The moon was the biggest I'd ever seen that night. You were one of the ones that was on building duty that day, so you were just getting back to your bunk when I saw you. First thing I saw about you were those eyes. Those brown chestnut eyes, so big and round. And in the moonlight, you look like a desert flower in bloom. I knew from the day I met you that I would love you.
You know, sometimes when you say shit like that, you sound like a fucking Kibi Joe.
I'm just saying how I feel.
It's okay. I like it when you say all that cheesy shit sometimes.
I'm going to miss you so fucking much.
I know. I'm gonna miss you too.
I'll find you. I promise. Wherever you are, even if you're across the world, I'll find you. And when I do, I'll walk right up to you and I'll kiss you.
I know you will.
They stare at each other for a moment before a lone guard dog in the distance begins to howl.
We should go. The dogs will be patrolling soon.
Stay. Just for a second. Please. Tell me the story again, please. One more time.
Once we're both grown and we've escaped this place, we'll go and buy a little piece of our land back. We'll grow our own little crops in the backyard. You'll come in from town on your horse and I'll be standing there waiting for you. You'll step off your horse and meet me and our little kids on the front porch. You'll kiss me, and I'll kiss you back, and we'll take the kids to go watch the sunset over the desert. Nobody will be there to bother us. Our own little patch of Nevada dirt that will be passed down to our kids and grandkids, and then their kids and their grandkids. And we'll be happy. And nobody would ever be able to take that away from us. We'll grow old and gray and become the elders of the town. We'll go around telling stories to the kids of the town and be the two crazy old men telling ghost stories and scaring all the kids and yelling at all the adults. Sitting on our front porch, laughing and speaking the language with our friends. And then, when it's time to return to the earth, I'll hold your hand in mine. So that way we'll be together as long as that desert sun keeps coming up every morning.
Will you remember me, Wanabe?
Always, Tukumpin. Always.
They both close their eyes and lay contentedly in each other's arms. The sounds of dogs barking furiously in the distance slowly starts and begins to grow as we fade to blackout. End of play.
How you feeling? How you doing? Need a moment?
Oh, boy.
How's that?
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't blame Drew. Drew, how fucking dare you?
Oh, this is too well written. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is heartbreaking. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful if I prompt you a question?
Oh, please.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah. What are you thinking about in regards to your particular character's arc throughout? Or if you want to answer not that question, by all means, fuck that one.
Oh God. I think for me, I just think that the arc for Thomas is just so it's just really, it's always a pleasure to see a character who, you know, is so driven by not letting anything get to them, let their guard down in a moment like this. Like there's just something really obviously like vulnerable. There's a really sweet vulnerability that Thomas is showing in this moment, and I think it's something that obviously he's not able to do anywhere else except with William or Wanabe. And yeah, it's just, I feel like it's almost like if their story was like a whole series, this would happen like somewhere in episode 5 of 10, but we're getting to see like this whole shift in just this just this nice little snapshot in time. And it's
Oh, William. Oh, poor William. That dream really sticks with me. That feeling of being stuck between, the world you were forced to leave behind and a world that doesn't want you either. And then having that one person that you can be yourself with say, I can't be here anymore. Oh, that's a gut punch.
And the worst thing is that they're both doing what is best for them.
Yeah.
Like there's no right answer to any of this.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah. This is survival for each of them. And there's no correct answer.
So Drew, how was that?
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, just from the first read through that you guys did, I mean, was great, was incredible. I loved the emotion that you guys put into the characters, which like when you're writing something as heavy as this, you don't necessarily realize how heavy it is until you have the actors actually saying these words, and then you realize during that, like, oh, this is sad what I've written. Really sad. And so I just loved hearing your guys' interpretations of these characters and of the language, and yeah, it was just great to listen to this out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful job, y'all. And again, thank you so much for like bringing your whole selves. Drew, we're still just a little mad at you, just a little, just a small bit. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, again, it has that emotion and that vulnerability. Drew, you know what I'm about to do. Anyway, my biggest questions are like, well, where is that not there, or like, where does that manifest in different ways? Because like tonally, we don't want to be like so depressed the whole time, right? Like there's a lot of love here. Where's the joy? Anyway, yeah. I think listening to it this time and watching you all, Drew, because this is still like a new play, I didn't really like ping too many like text things. I have some like gnarly thoughts whenever we get there, on some little things. Anyway, but yeah, I think I'm really interested in the different levels tonally between both of you, and then also just like what are each of your characters' trauma response to things. Like I know Kalani, you talked about like things don't really like bother him, but they do. So when does that come through, right? And then and so then Chingwei, same questions for you is like, well, what is your trauma response? Is it more of that like anxious, we're gonna grab on? I don't know. Do you all inform one another? I don't know. Anyway, but those are just some of the sort of the questions that I was thinking about. So my proposal on the table, if you all are down, is that we can start at the top and then just stop, talk about some things, maybe try some different things and just move on and see how far that we get. Does that sound like a good plan? Do we want to do that? Great.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Beautiful. We love some consent. All right. So we can take it to the tippity top. On page 2. I'm just looking here. Okay, so just for fun, colon, can you try this? And again, if it's wrong, we won't do it. We won't do it ever again. Anyway, but can you try really brushing this off? Like, you know, like, no, we're talking about like abuse, like physical abuse. But yeah, I mean, but like.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Beautiful. We love it. All right, cool. And then, yeah, and then, you know, Ching might just be a wonderful partner and see what that does. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, whenever y'all are ready, we're just gonna take it from if Sister Mary comes, she'll beat us. And then great, whenever you're ready.
Okay. If Sister Mary comes, she'll beat us.
I know, Wanabe.
Call me William. You don't know who could be listening out here. And if she hears you speaking the language, you know she'll come and beat us too.
I know, William. You don't need to tell me.
Jesus Christ, Thomas, what did you do this time?
Just the usual crap. Sister Martha was getting all preachy, you know how she does. She started going off on a rant about how you Indians are lucky we get to be schooled these days. How when she was a little kid, they used to just beat the sin out of us. About how we're all getting all soft because we don't know discipline. I got so mad, I swear I could have just... I didn't do anything. Except I did say something like, yeah, well, that's because those white hands... Yeah, well, that's because those white hands are so weak, y'all realized you couldn't get through our skin. And so she gave me this. Doesn't matter anyway. She's going to beat me tomorrow no matter what I do, so what's the fucking point of being quiet?
When are you gonna learn to just keep your mouth shut? You don't always have to say everything that comes into that thick head of yours.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you too.
So we can hold here for a moment. Jingwei, thoughts? What you thinking?
I'm thinking about how many times Thomas and William have had a variation of this exact conversation.
Yeah. Thomas don't seem like he's, you know, the brightest crayon on the box. Right. So yeah, does he just like do this shit all the time? Like, this is not news.
That's the impression I'm getting. It seems to me William is more the type of keep your head down and stay out of trouble and you'll get out of this as good as you can. And Thomas seems to be sort of the exact opposite of that. Yeah.
Can we lean? Do you want to lean into that a little more? Yeah, especially the, you know, like your first line here, like the Jesus Christ, Thomas, what'd you do this time? And then also in all of these ellipses that are in there, I just wonder what you're doing, you know, just sort of prompt what Thomas is saying. Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, I swear I could have just ... but I didn't do anything ... Well, except I did say, right? Yeah, I mean, because also another question, like, how long have you all been together?
That is a good question.
Very good question.
Yeah. Drew, do you have an inkling, or is this actor director figure it out, not my problem?
No, yeah, I was imagining that they've been in this situation for a little bit of time. Like it's like eerily similar to like I would imagine like when you're in prison with someone for a while, like under such harsh conditions, you grow close to somebody quickly. And so they've been together for a little bit of time, like maybe a year, couple years, like it's been long enough for them to really know each other at this point.
Okay.
Great. Cool. So Chingwei, is any of this a surprise?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Right? That's the energy. All right. So with that energy, can we back it up to the very beginning? I mean, it wasn't that far. We'll see how far we're going to make it. Anyway, if Sister Mary comes, she'll beat us. And then a question for you, Kolan, as well as Drew. What are you doing in that beat? What's motivating that beat between that line and the I know? For you first, Kolan.
To me, it kind of feels like it is, since he has already made this decision that he's going to leave, like I'm sure I was expecting this is the first thing he's going to say to me as soon as he comes out here. And it's going to be some variation of if Sister Mary comes or if Sister Mary catches us. And it's just like that moment of like, yeah, this is exactly what it needs to be.
So does William say this literally every time?
Every time.
Right.
It's always some version of this.
Great. So just for rehearsal purposes, Drew, are you cool if we bring in that energy and just go right past that beat and just see what happens?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. William, if Sister Mary, whenever you're ready.
If Sister Mary comes, she'll beat us.
I know, Wanabe.
Call me William. You don't know who could be listening out here, and if she hears you speaking the language, she'll come and beat us too.
I know, William. You don't need to tell me.
William sees bruises on Thomas's neck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Thomas, what did you do this time?
Yeah, just the usual crap. Sister Martha was getting all preachy. You know how she does. She started going off on a rant about how you Indians are lucky we get to be schooled these days, and how when she was a little kid, they used to just beat the sin out of us. About how we're getting all soft because we don't know discipline. I got so mad. I swear I could have just... But I didn't do anything. Except I did say something like, yeah, well, that's because those white hands are so weak, y'all realized you couldn't get through our skin, and so she gave me this. Doesn't matter anyway. She's gonna beat me tomorrow no matter what I do, so what's the fucking point of being quiet?
When are you gonna learn to just keep your mouth shut? You don't always have to say everything that comes into that thick head of yours.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you too.
That's not who I am, though. I'm always going to speak my mind. They can cut my hair, they can rip the clothes off my back, they can beat me, they can lock me up. They will never keep me quiet.
And that's what's going to get you killed one day, you fucking idiot. Why'd you ask me to come out here? It's getting more and more dangerous each time.
I had to see you.
Why?
Just to see you. To know you're here. That's it.
Last time Sister Martha almost caught us. I think.
Fulfillment. Sorry. I know you were so ready. I'm so sorry. I had questions. Yeah. So how was that for y'all this time around?
I liked it
It
a
was
lot.
fun. The energy of the energy from Thomas's whole like the mocking of Sister what's her name through the well, and then no, I just sort of and to the through to the just keep your mouth shut for once. It was a very fun energy that once that ended, it also felt like the shift to something else is actually going on felt a bit bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what for you, Kalan?
Yeah, I think that go around we really found like the playfulness that they have with each other. Like it's very much like the Thomas loves ruffling William's feathers whenever he can. And I think William does kind of get out a kick of like being like, you quit being an idiot. And it's true, it's all accurate, but it's also just like it's, you know, it's like how it's their weird it's their fun way of like showing each other that they care. Just awful sweet.
So cute. Drew, thoughts? Because it is, you know, totally different.
Absolutely. I think that definitely it adds some layers, which is great for like the beginning of this short play where a lot happens in a very short amount of time. And so like to start off on like so much energy and to like, I think that this new the way that they just did it really establishes who they are quickly and establishes the relationship that they have with each other, this kind of back and forth and this kind of playfulness that they have between each other, I think establishes that they really do care and love each other really quickly in the first couple minutes, which I think I really like this time.
Great. And as a playwright of a short play, that's what you need. Wonderful. Great. Yeah. Question for you, Ching Wei, on page 3. You fucking idiot. And then why did you ask me to come out here? Did you feel any impulse to just like barrel on through? Did you like the silence there?
I like the silence there. It felt like to me like a moment of William acknowledging that like there feels like something different about this meeting that is not just their usual you idiot, what are you doing back and forth. Like there's an undercurrent of something else here, and William couldn't not address it any longer.
So you think so you think at this point that William knows there's something up?
I think he can feel it. I don't think he has any idea what it is, but I think there's an air of it.
Yeah, I think what I'm over here, I'm also tracking too, is like from the audience perspective, when do they know something's up? And this is a bigger question for you, not for you, Drew, not to answer now, but of when do you want that point for the audience to know what's up? I don't know. Before I say, Kalan, do you have any sort of impulse on like when you as like, you know, as Thomas would want William to ask what's going on? Or like you have big plans to come out here and say it? Would you like to be prompted? Yeah,
no, that's kind of how I feel, because it kind of feels like this. It's funny because there's like the why'd you ask me to come out here, which would be the perfect time to tell him, and he full on chickens out. He just full on bails on it. It's just like, you know, it says all these sweet things. So I think it's like, I think he really does want to tell him, but it's also, you know, it's that terror that any of us feel when, you know, we're about to tell someone we care about something that they would never want to hear. So like there's that impulse to want to get it done, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to, because that makes it real.
Yes. Yeah. So again, another question for you, Drew. Again, keeping the audience in mind, do you want them on the same train as Thomas or on the same train as William? If that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then last one question, just 4 questions. I think this is already in the text, or not a question, a provocative thought. Like this is already in the text, colon, that like Thomas has made the decision to go, and that like this is the last night, so on and so forth. I'm really curious if that decision can happen in the conversation. Yeah. Have you thought about that? Because I know it's already in the text, so I mean, don't worry. We're like at all on the fence of like maybe we're gonna go tomorrow, maybe we're not. See, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say the closest would have to be on the fence, though, right? Because I mean, unfortunately, with the text, we know that like the plan has been in motion for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense, right? Like all these folks in boarding schools, like every day is a like I want to run away and escape day. Not every day is today's the day, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and so I'm really curious on when is that decision of like, you know what? All right, today is the day. And if that happens before the play begins, or if it happens somewhere in here. I don't know. Yeah, and also just things for you to percolate on, Drew. Drew as well. But yeah, I just didn't know, Colin, if you had any like knee-jerk reactions of like, yes, at this exact moment on this page, on this beat is when I have the decision.
I will say, I think to me anyways, it always read as like he was sitting with this decision before before William comes in, because you know, just especially like the way that we had just done it, just like seeing how like clearly it was painted, like it does very much feel like tomorrow's the day, and that's and that's it. Like it's very much I'm either going to do this now or I'm never going to do it.
Great. Perfect. Yeah, I'm just asking provocative questions to see if that goes somewhere.
Oh, no, of course, Tara, do your thing. Do your directorial thing.
No right answers. The only right answers lie with Drew. The only ones with the right answers. Great. All right. We have 2 lovely full minutes. And we've made it through, for those who are at home who are pretending don't exist, you know, whopping 2.5 pages. Yeah. So I think if like, you know, we were going to go through this further, right? I think it's continuing to build upon those layers. And even in those like moments of like real vulnerability, how do we reel it back, you know? Because I think like a trap of a lot of like drama or like tragedy and like real heavy stuff is that like we want to like lean into it. But like think of ourselves as humans. Whenever we're feeling vulnerable, do we lean into that? No, we don't.
No.
Not at all.
Never.
No, we try to reel it back in anyway. But yeah, so like moving forward, I think like that's the route where we would go, continue to play and continue to track, you know, be like Shrek and an onion and have as many layers as possible on top of there throughout. But yeah, I think that's what I'm over here thinking about. Yeah, if that aligns with what y'all be thinking about.
I want to ask you, that's a great segue. I want to hear from each one of you what you would do in our next rehearsal. If we were coming back to rehearsal room tomorrow, what would be your goal on working on this? Colin, do you want to start?
Ooh, sure. Yeah, I feel like it would be because obviously like the first read through, it was kind of, you know, it was easy to just kind of like fall into what Tara was just talking about, like the traps of like playing the emotion. While it's already there, like the real, you know, the thing that's always captivating is when people are fighting those emotions as hard as possible. And I would want to just kind of keep that in mind, especially that there is like a fight that happens in the middle of this too. Like when William says, I can't do that, like Thomas takes it extremely personally that he's staying. And obviously that's not the intention at all, but like, that's what happens in his mind at that moment. So I think it's very much like finding that guard that Thomas would keep up, I guess, with other people than he would with William in that moment. If that makes sense at all.
Chingwei, what would you do in next rehearsal?
What would I do? I think I would try and figure out if there is a moment or where the moments are where William is just a hair away from saying yes and just running away with Thomas. Because I cannot believe that he never thinks about it. He gives too many reasons to not go, to have not thought about going in this conversation. So I would want to find all of those and see just how close I could get to saying yes.
And Drew, what would you do?
Rewrite the play so William says yes.
Right
Don't do that.
I think I would go over the notes that we've come up with with the actors, with Tara, and work on just little tiny edits throughout the play where I can maybe help the actors along in finding ways to reel back that vulnerability and hide some of those emotions, so we can like just make it a little bit more real for the next rehearsal.
And Tara, anything else you would want to work on next time?
Yeah, I mean, what I would do is build the container for each one of these collaborators to explore down those same paths. But I think what I would do, Drew, is I would caution you against making any script edits right now. Just to see, because after we've had the conversation of like the text as it is, can we reel back the vulnerability with like actor director, or do we actually need the tech support to do it? And I think like where I currently stand is that, I want to keep like, your authentic voice centered and be like, don't take away things until like, you're like, yep, we need to take it away, That's sort of what I would caution. But also like, if you want to come in, because I know if you want to come in 50 new pages, all right, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm going to speak out to the audience, all of you who tuned in tonight. I'm so thrilled to have you back to our Zoomlets. I hope you can come to our next 2 Zoomlets in our fall series. If you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets to next Monday's Zoomlet on October 18th of Esmeralda by Dimitra Olag. To me, Esmeralda feels like a play that lures me in. Esmeralda is up to something, and I don't know what. Tune in next week to find out how our title character bewitches Gabriel and hopefully our audience. We're grateful to everyone that attended, and we are especially grateful to everyone that donated. We're paying all of our artists involved in the Zoomlets, and your donations help cover the costs of paying them. It is so helpful for you to support the Zoomlets the way that you do. And if you haven't donated yet, you will have another opportunity in your thank you email you'll be receiving shortly. And make sure you get your tickets to The Great Con by Bay Area legend Michael Gene Sullivan. It's playing in person at San Francisco Playhouse and streaming October 13th through November 13th. It's about 2 Black teenagers struggling against the system. And then Genghis Khan shows up. It's really fun and super funny. And I hope you can all make it out to come see it. And I hope that I get to see you there. So thank you, everyone, once again for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening and good night.